I know one thing I can count on, and you know what that is?
Hmm.
The Los Angeles Dodgers, bro. It's like
Always.
it's fucking amazing. I can't even lie to you. It's the greatest feeling of all time.
Oh, I'm sure.
I swear to you. It's fucking outstanding. I mean, I can count on them. I can count on Shohei Ohtani. It feels good to be able to rely on someone.
Mm-hmm.
Also, Caleb Love, man. I talk a lot of shit on that guy.
Dude showed, man.
He showed up, man. Talk about playing like a dog. We need
Mm-hmm.
more dogs. He's a dog. He one of them. I love. He gets my
He
respect. I don't
showed.
talk shit on him, but it's the truth. The truth be told, he was like that last night, bro. He
Oh
was.
yeah. No, he showed up. He showed up. He just
I mean, like next level player shit. You know what I mean? So
mm-hmm.
you know. Ooh wee, we're back. Yes, we are. Spin Doctor joining me. As you already know, I'm Sosa Picks. I do this from time to time. I let Spin do the heavy lifting, and then like I hop in the bed of the truck and pretend like I'm pushing it. It'd be like that sometimes. Um, but you've been holding it down all week. Greatly appreciative. Have had a lot going on. Because people have hit me up like, "Yo, where have you been?" Blah blah blah. I was like, "Don't worry about it, bro. You don't need me. Spin's got you covered." But yeah, man, Sweet 16 last night started off. How are we feeling? How are we feeling? Has anything changed?
Uh,
Can you
not
smell
really.
chalk?
Not really. You know, overall from last night, the couple things that I saw that were a little surprising were there were more pockets of time, especially in the second half, where Bama did play defense and did actually make an effort to D up. I mean, we can't talk about last night without talking about, good Lord, that was one of the best offensive performances in the NCAA tournament that
And
I've
that was
ever
the
seen.
best offensive performance I've ever seen in
I
college.
can't think of a better one.
I've never seen a better shooting performance in college history in my lifetime.
No,
That
no,
was insane. They just didn't miss. They did not miss.
they're that's going to be a dangerous team. Now, defensively, we'll get to that when we talk about that game tomorrow. Defensively, Duke's a little bit different than BYU is, but it's not to take away from the fact that that was beyond impressive. Marcus Sears, had the game been closer, probably would have tied the all-time record for 3-pointers. I think they left him in for another 2 or 3 minutes to see if he could get it. And then when there was about 4 minutes left and they were up by 25, then it was kind of like, all right, it's like, yeah, we want you to get this, but like we're about to play to go to the Final Four, so let's just chill. But the whole time, after about the first 5 minutes, BYU was never really in that game. That was a pretty handily won game by Alabama, and part of it was, this is when Nate Oates' system is at its best, is when the offense is obviously going to get theirs and humming like that, but when they get just enough stops to build a 2, 3, 4 possession lead, because then what happens is then their opponent tries to overcompensate, get points back quick because Bama is going to score, and then the house of cards falls down. Where Oates' teams struggle is when they just keep trading baskets back and forth and don't show any interest in even getting like 2 or 3 stops, and you end up with a situation where you could be like whoever has the ball last. So shout out to Coach Oates. Shout out to Bama, because I did have a buddy of mine texting me well, like who can stop Bama? And like when they
When
play
they're
like
shooting
this, I
like
said,
that,
what?
nobody.
Yeah,
No,
I think that
if
Duke,
they're shooting like that, it's
yeah.
get them the fucking trophy right now. I swear to God.
If they're shooting like that from deep, because then that can neutralize the length and the height and the athleticism that Duke has. Now, you do get worried is that if a team that is a decent but not fantastic 3-point shooting team comes out and does that, like, hopefully they didn't use all the bullets in the chamber, but this team is playing so well right now. Alabama Duke has the potential to be one of the best games in the NCAA tournament over the last 5 years, because both of these teams are peaking right now. Both teams put up 100 last night.
You said bet the over right now?
You may as well.
I mean, I was ready to say it. Like,
you may as well. They
300 possessions.
They were straight chucking last night, and they were falling. So hard to beat a team that is playing like that. Maryland, Florida. Maryland was the cause of their own demise, and they were the cause of their own demise for two reasons. Number one is they couldn't capitalize off of Florida had some absolutely stupid turnovers. I mean, just throwing the ball over guys' heads, dribbling off their feet, stepping out of bounds. It was really, really weird. They were kind of sleepwalking through most of the first half. Now, the problem became, though, is that when Maryland couldn't take advantage, and when Florida, even when they got shots, was missing, Florida just dominated the offensive glass. Florida had so many offensive rebounds and so many key offensive rebounds that actually led to baskets. And the final total, Florida with 15 offensive rebounds. Get this, Maryland 13 defensive rebounds. That's actually a stat that we used on a lot of teams that I've been a part of, both as a player and a coach, is that you want to try to get more offensive rebounds than your opponent does defensive rebounds. And that's exactly what they did. 15-13, Florida with a 42-20 advantage on the boards. And so those two things, even though they committed 17 turnovers, and you normally don't win an NCAA tournament game, especially not by this much, when you commit 17 turnovers. But those two things did Maryland in. They went back to chucker mode. Which is what some of their guys like Julian Reese can do, like Gillespie can do sometimes. Derek Queen was out there bombing 4 threes. Like, man, you only made 6 threes all year. What?
See, I think also it's the frustration.
Yep.
It's just like you get frustrated when one, you're not getting great looks at the basket, and then you run into that situation where you settle for some shots. I love that you brought up the offensive rebounding, because that was a testament to how great Alabama was. BYU got a bunch of offensive rebounds too. You wouldn't even notice it, though, because when they actually would score a couple baskets, listen, that was the most impressive thing to me. It's a game of runs. Alabama didn't make it a game of runs. They said, if you're going to hit a couple of baskets, we're going to hit 2-3 more threes, and we're going to literally keep you beyond arm's reach for the duration of the second half. So the rebounding battle is something that's major, and it's something that I think is going to play a big part in tonight's games. Cooper Flag, I mean, bro, that's a cold ass white boy, bro. I can't even that good. He's cold as a motherfucker. He's cold. Like I don't think we've never seen nothing like that. I can honestly say it. It's total mastery of the game of basketball at 18 years old. Under control, never too fast, don't take bad shots, great passer, can create shots for other people naturally. Insane, bro.
It's weird to say that a kid of his caliber, who's probably going to be the player of the year and whatever, it's weird to say that he's almost like too unselfish, but he kind of is he's too unselfish. Don't compare him to LeBron, bro, because that jump shot is better at his age, brother. I hate to break the news to you. You can say y'all never saw LeBron. I see Wave in the comments. No, bro. This white boy different, bro. He's just different. He's and I'm not, listen, I fucking hate Duke. That's how you know I'm being completely unbiased. I hate Duke. But Lord Jesus, he's looking for that mellow aura that I'm gonna win a championship as a one and done. That's what he's looking for now, bro. Because that's the territory he's entered. Clearly the best player on a championship team. He's insane. Yep. And then yeah, the last game I saw here from Logan, Christian Anderson. man, Tech playing without Chance McMillan. Thero did play for Arkansas, wasn't super effective, but man, that was a fun game. My heart goes out to the Hogs fans, like to Mike when he listens. Sorry, because they had that game won. They had that game won about 3 or 4 times, and Texas Tech, as they've done many times this year, is they're down in the second half like that. They just keep chipping and chipping and chipping and chipping away, and before you know it, it's down to a 1-possession game. What got Arkansas their lead ended up being their undoing, because they don't change who they are. They play fast. They take quick shots. They can sometimes take off balance shots. And when you get into a situation at the end of the game where maybe those aren't falling, you have the potential to have some empty possessions to give a lead back. And that's unfortunately what they did. But that was, for all the talk about like, blowouts. And I mean, because even the first 2 games were blowouts and weren't really close. And, Duke won by 7, but like it wasn't really.
Yeah, it was like a fight. It was like a fake fight back.
Yeah, it wasn't really like a.
It's kind of like Alabama, bro. The game, like obviously Duke distanced himself to begin the second half, right? Like they went on a run to start because it was only up a bucket at halftime.
Yep.
And they went on. I think they went on like a 16-2 or something like that, where they just started pouring it on, and then the remainder of the game kind of kept them at arm's length. Couple things in regards to the Arkansas game before we get into today.
Yeah.
Everything we talk about where they weren't up by much. I know he hit the 3, right? It was 3, and then he hit the 3. You're right. Wave. Right. He hit the 3 at the very end. What was I saying? In regards to Cal, the same thing that we talk about with Cal shined through. X's and O's, he got outcoached. X's and O's. It's always been a problem for Calipari. We've said that. We don't try to harp on it, but that's where he got beat last night. Situational basketball, he was awful. He ran nothing but ISO bullshit. And I love DJ. I'm a huge DJ Wagner fan. I think that he has a career at the next level. It's not obviously going to be as touted as it was entering high school or entering college, because he's like the number 1 high school player. But I don't think he put his team in good positions down the stretch. I don't think and also, we can call it decision making, because he likes to empower his players to make decisions.
Mm-hmm.
But ultimately, I think Cal was terrible from an X's and O standpoint, and we got the complete opposite. Also, shout out to, his name evades me at the moment. Shout out to the kid who stayed confident. He didn't hit anything all game, and in overtime, he hit 2 huge shots, including the big 3 at the very end. His name evades me right now.
For Tech. You talking about Hawkins?
I think it was. He just kept shooting. Like he was terrible all game. In overtime, he hit a big 3.
Oh no! You're talking about Christian Anderson. I think
it was him. Is that?
Yeah.
It was.
You must talking about Christian Anderson.
Yeah, he was awful all game, but that's key. Stay confident, stay ready, and never get in your own head. Shout out to him for doing that. But yeah, those are all I don't have much to say, man. Chalk won through last night.
Yeah, it did. And
I think it was Darion.
Darion Williams.
Yeah, that's who it was. He was horrible all game, because you remember shit like that. Especially because the thing is, had they lost, you would have really remembered how fucking terrible he played. We'd be talking about how bad he was, right?
Yep.
And he went to overtime, and that moment allowed him to say, hey, you hit the reset button, and we just got to come out here with.
Sosa might be frozen. All right, Sosa's frozen. So while he gets back, before we get into the day's stuff, I'm going to go and we'll go through some comments, say what's up to the people. Moneybag Tone, good morning, my guy. Always with us. Appreciate you. We need more dogs. Yeah, this tournament, we're probably not going to get them. YB CEO Rio, good morning. Happy Friday to all, including you as well. Let's make some money. Agreed. Let's cash, fellas. NHL was glorious. Duke gave it back. Yeah, right at the end. Lean the over. That easily hit. Trying to rob FanDuel. Good morning to you as well. Kevin Link, yeah, I know. I was saying this to VIP last night too. 66 shots and 51 from three. They were just bombing last night. Mom Who Bets, always with us. Good morning. Thank you as always. Tone says Cooper Flag is nice. Yes, he is. He is a nice player. Wavy saying Flag certified. Loved him running the point guard. I did too. I loved it because he's good enough to get the ball from point A to point B, and they have no one to match up with him in the backcourt. So 4.5 assists easily was easily good. And we talked about Williams being the guy from Texas Tech. Jonathan Matthews saying Hawk was 1 for 7 before that big three. I love seeing that because he's a Minnesota boy. He went to the U of M. So all good. And DMAC saying it's a good day to make some money. It sure is. And we'll get to this game, YouTube user. Kentucky over Tennessee. We will for sure get to this game. So while we wait for Sosa to rejoin, we'll start the proceedings in the South. We got Ole Miss, number 6, taking on number 2 Sparty, Michigan State. Michigan State laying 3.5, a total of 131.5. And so I only have 2 plays today, and then I'll give you leans and looks and just general thoughts on the other games. So this is one that I do have an official show play for. And so both of these teams are very well coached. Both of these teams should be very well prepared. However, throughout the tournament, and even if you look back to Michigan State over the last 3-4 weeks, is that they have gotten off to some really, really slow starts, trailed at halftime in a number of their games, or had inferior opponents within just 1 or 2 possessions. It happened already both times this year in the NCAA tournament with Bryant and New Mexico. Meanwhile, Ole Miss has been coming out and has had some really, really nice starts to games. Very, very nice starts to games, very nice first halves, and including last one, obviously, where they were just smacking Iowa State. The other thing that I'm looking for here is that the Ole Miss offense is just one of the best in the country in not turning the ball over. And when Sparty made that comeback against New Mexico, they did it 2 ways. Number 1 was they forced some turnovers and got some easy baskets. Number 2 is that they started to dominate the glass, and more specifically on the offensive side. So you see that Mississippi State is not the best rebounding team, but what they do is they don't take they take fantastic care of the ball. And you go back and look at some of their recent results here. I mean, in the NCAA tournament, Iowa State up by 11, North Carolina at halftime up by 18. You even go back further than that, and you look at some of their games in the SEC tournament. Arkansas up by 8. When Tennessee, when they beat them, Tennessee, they were down, but Oklahoma, they were ahead. So a lot of really, really good starts here for this Ole Miss team. Given their coaching, I would expect them to be prepared. And this Michigan State team has had some iffy starts. They only led Bryant by a handful. They were down to New Mexico. Then you go back even further and you go back to the Big Ten tournament. They were down to Wisconsin at halftime. They did lead Oregon, but then in 2 of their 3 games before that, also trailed at half. With the way that Mississippi is playing right now, where they do come out early with all kinds of intensity, come out and try to punch you in the mouth. I'm not necessarily sure that Ole Miss has the horses to stay with Sparty here. I also get a little concerned where even though they've had a week off, Mississippi is 214th in bench minutes. Michigan State is 19th. Now, Michigan State really doesn't like have 5 true starters. They have more like 7 to 8, and they can just rotate them, mix and match them, all kinds of different lineup combos to use. And I think sometimes that's why you see them potentially stumble a little bit out of the gate, but then figure it out, because they just have so many different looks that they can throw at teams, and teams can only adjust so much. But Mississippi shooting 37.1% from deep over their last 3. They're actually shooting over 40% in the first half from 3-point range. And so I look at this one, and yeah, if you really want to, you can take the 1.5 or 2 points. But my rule all year has been, when I get a dog that I think has a shot at this one, and I get a 2-point or less spread on a neutral floor at home, I'm going money line. So the first official play here is Michigan, or I'm sorry, not Michigan State, Mississippi. Ole Miss, first half money line. You can get that at plus 124 is the best price that I was able to find. As far as the actual game goes itself, man, even though I love Chris Beard, Izzo is the master of this stuff and has just made halftime adjustment after halftime adjustment to just come out and obliterate teams. So I don't necessarily know if I like a take either way on the side for this one. If you gave me a free play on this total, I would probably lean on the under ever so slightly. I might even look at like a first half over, second half under kind of combo play, just because Michigan State has played absolute lockdown defense in the second half against all of their opponents. They held New Mexico to only 32. They held Bryant to 34. They held Oregon to 32. I mean, 30 points pretty much on a regular, even Michigan, where they had that huge halftime lead and played subs most of the second half, they still only held them to 34. So just low 30s throughout. So I might look at an Ole Miss, like Ole Miss first half money line, and then team total second half under. That's just been how the game script has gone for both of these teams throughout, and that appears to be what it's going to be tonight. So first one is the Ole Miss money line first half. See Wavy saying, or Logan saying Jace Richardson masterclass. He has been. And Wavy saying Mississippi first half, MSU full game. Yep, you can do that as well. That should get you some decent plus money. I think I know DraftKings offers those. So, but that's the first official play. All right. Next up is a game that I do not have official action on, but we'll certainly talk about this one. You got Kentucky and Tennessee, good old-fashioned SEC slugfest, and this game kicks off tonight at 7:39 p.m. You have the Vols laying 4.5 with a total of 144.5. And I'll put Wavies up right now before we start. Don't count out UK. I know everyone will say beat a team 3 times. Duke did that against UNC. Tennessee has shot terrible from beyond the arc in every game this season. And obviously, YouTube user agrees with Kentucky. I would lean on Kentucky as well. And not just because it's Rick Barnes, and I try to fade Rick Barnes at this stage of the game as much as I can. Yeah, we've talked about the whole beat a team 3 times. Like, it's so hard to beat a team 3 times. No, it's not. If you have the right coaching staff and the right personnel to make adjustments and manage in-game decisions, it's not hard to beat a 3 or impossible or whatever to beat a team 3 times. That narrative has just been broken over and over and over again. And I know some people cling to like the few times that like it holds, where like 2 times and then the other team wins a 3rd time and like use that. There's way more examples of the other thing happening. So, but we get the Vols, we get the Wildcats, and yeah, the the 3-point shooting was going to be the thing that I was going to refer to as well. While Tennessee is shooting the ball very, very well during this tournament at almost 40% from deep, you also look at quality of opponent notwithstanding, but you also have, as mentioned, in their 2 games, which the first one was all the way back on January 28th. Kentucky won that one 78-73, was a slugfest. The Vols shot 11 of 45 from deep, 24.4%. And then the next one, the rematch, was at Rupp. Kentucky won by almost the same score and held them to 64 points, and they were 3 for 18 from deep. Kentucky, overall, the 22nd ranked 3-point defense in the country. They've been doing a really nice job of it here too in the tournament and over their last few games. Kentucky only allowing 30.1% last 3 games, only allowing 31% from deep on the road. So for a Tennessee team that where 43.3% of its shots are from deep, that's a top 80 rate in the country, it's a thing. And the reason why it's a thing is because Kentucky has the length to guard the shooters, to get out on shooters, to close out on shooters, so that even if you have a situation where you get some penetration from one of the guards, that Kentucky can rotate out because they have so much length on the wing. Now, the other part for me is that Kentucky themselves has been just their offense has just been a model of efficiency. I give so much credit to Mark Pope because brand new team, brand new everything this year, and he's got these guys playing so well right now. Their floor percentage for the season it's 53. On the road it's 50, right around 50, and same thing with during the tournament, right around 50. So they're getting points 1 out of every 2 possessions down the floor, which is why they're experiencing success. The Vols under 50% on the road. It's been a little bit better in the tournament. You have to compare quality of opponents there a little bit. So if you gave me a free play, I probably would take Kentucky at the +4.5. I would probably look at a Tennessee team total under for this one. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with this one yet. I have another lean, a couple leans that I'm kind of running down that might turn into some VIP action. So, but if you're looking for just on the surface for like what to play now, I would look at Kentucky +4.5. I think you can put the Kentucky money line in like a mega parlay, like a fun lunch money parlay to try to swing for the fences. And I would look at maybe not an under, but like maybe a Tennessee team total under. So those are my 2 looks on that game. All right. Next one is another one that I don't have any official action on, or I'm sorry, that one. South region, number 4, Michigan against number 1, Auburn. Auburn laying the 9 with a total of 153.5. This game tips at around 9:40 p.m. All right. So I have made the regretful decision to fade Dusty May twice in this tournament. And I have not done well fading Dusty May twice in this tournament. So you might think I'm going to be on Michigan. It's actually, I'm off for now, but I do have a couple of things that I'm looking at potentially for VIP. But overall analysis for this game is that the way that Michigan got to the Sweet 16, to me, and the way they've looked is way more impressive than the way Auburn has. Auburn, as we know, struggled at the end of the season. They had a few games. They had actually lost 3 of their last 4 coming into the tournament, struggled for a half or so with Alabama State, struggled for a half with Creighton, turned it up on both, and ended up becoming double-digit wins. Now, Are they going to be able to do that here? I tend to lean towards Michigan on this number just because, one, because of its size, and two, because of Michigan's size with Area 51, et cetera, is that they do have the size inside to force Auburn to have to make jump shots. Now, can Auburn make jump shots? Well, obviously, we know that they can. But you look at, and I talked about this when we cashed the Creighton first half team total in here, is what is your opponent's floor percentage? And you have an Auburn team that is giving up points over 50% of the time on the road. Now, it's been a little bit better over their last three at 45.9%, but against quality opponents on the road, it is over 50%. And so the offensive opportunities will be there. Now, the question then becomes, what about Michigan? So Michigan has an overall for the season better defensive floor percentage than the Tigers do at 45.5, but it's been really good over the last three. So 43.1%, that mark would rank very, very close to first in the country. The other part that you have is you had a Michigan team last week that possibly was playing with some tired legs because their bench isn't very deep, and they had played basically like 6 games in 9 days. Well, now they get a whole week of rest. And are able to play their game. So you get them back, you get them fully healthy, and I think that they absolutely can give Auburn a game, at least for a half. So maybe a Michigan first half look. And for the total, I can't go anywhere but over on this one. Auburn has showed that they're just going to play at warp speed and try to run. Michigan shoots the three exceptionally, scores from inside exceptionally well. Have a few guys who can shoot the three. Not that they shoot it that well as a team. And the other thing is Michigan gets to the line very well because they're 2 7-footers. Auburn's tendency is a foul. You can see the 310th in field goals attempted over free throws attempted. But when you dig a little bit deeper on that one, what you find is that Auburn as a team is allowing 22.2 free throws per game. That's sub 300 in college basketball. It's also even worse when they're away from home at 23.7. That 23.7 mark would rank right around the lines of Prairie View, North Carolina Central, Tennessee State, Texas State, South Carolina Upstate. You see where I'm going with this. It's not good. So if Michigan can do the same thing that they were doing before, the same way that they just pummeled Texas A&M, and get the ball down inside, pound Golden, pound Wolf, they can grind this game to a halt or grind this game down a little bit and stifle the Auburn offense. The reason why they can stifle the Auburn offense is because Auburn's defense in spurts to me is a lot like what I have before used to rag on Alabama about, is that it's not that they're bad defensively, it's that they're impatient defensively. So if you can show some patience, you can get some easy buckets down low, get some fouls, get to the line, etc., where Michigan is a pretty good free throw shooting team. So nothing official for me, but if you want some leans, I would for sure lean Michigan. I'm not sure I'm taking Auburn in this spot, and I would probably lean on an under for this one. All right, last but not least, in the Midwest region, you got the Cougs. You got the Cougs and you got Matt Painter. So Houston, Purdue, this is the last game of the night. Houston laying the 8 with a total of 131.5. So there will be an official show play on this one. It will be total related, but it won't be full game total. It'll be a full game total, but it'll be a team total. So I look at this Houston team and I look at the things that Purdue does well defensively. And what I really see is Houston defends every single thing that Purdue does well on offense. So you have a Purdue team that does shoot the ball reasonably well from deep, 38.5% for the season, top 10 in the country. Houston feasts on that. Their long wings, long length on the guard spots, which exceeds Purdue's. You see that Purdue is 55th or 45th in 2-point field goal percentage. Houston's even better than that, 44.3. Houston has had the same defensive formula for teams like Purdue all season long, and it's worked over and over and over and over again. Now, the other thing is that you have a Purdue team that does a decent job of getting to the line, whereas Houston can be prone to some fouls. It's been a lot better. It's been a lot better recently for the Cougars, and to the point where 14.7 free throws allowed per game over their last 3, and actually about 14.5 allowed over their last 5. Those marks would rank top 15 in all of college basketball. So not only are they playing that same aggressive defense, they're also playing without fouling. Purdue overall, from a personnel standpoint, you can see that their guard, like with Braden Smith and et cetera, doesn't really match up with some of the 6'3", even Cryer at 6'1", because he's long, 6'4", doesn't really match up well with the length that Houston has on the perimeter. The other thing is that Houston has really been just uglying games up in this tournament, bullying teams into playing their style of basketball. Absolutely see that happening tonight. So the official play for this one is going to be on the Purdue team total, full game, Purdue team total under 61.5. I know it's low, but this defense is the best one that Purdue has seen in weeks, maybe months. So Purdue team total under 61.5. As far as the rest of the game goes, the line is the spread's kind of in no man's land. The full game total, I think you maybe can go under on that one. But the one that I'm really liking again is the Purdue team total of under 61.5. All right. I think that's going to do it today. That's going to do it here for college basketball today. If you're in VIP, I got strikeout props coming at you. We hit a nice plus money parlay on day 1 yesterday. If you were with me on Sharpie's show, you would have seen me give out Mackenzie Gore. I guess I gave out over 5.5 strikeouts. I probably should have given out over 13.5 strikeouts because he went ballistic. But we got more of that coming. Tons of content coming for Major League Baseball starting next week as well. Hope you're here with us, and best of luck of tailing. We'll see you tomorrow.